Hey y'all, it's my review for the Real Housewives of Atlanta, episode 4. Happy Memorial Day, by the way. Although this review might come out on Tuesday because I have a date today. Anywho, we open the episode with Kenya and Monyetta. Monyetta, turns out she used to be like a dancer. I don't think choreographer, but she's helping Kenya with some steps because the next cast trip is to Alabama for the Magic City Classic, which is kind of similar, if you're from New Orleans or Louisiana, the Bayou Classic, where the bands go at each other and college football teams. So it turns out Kenya Moore's company, Kenya Moore Hair Care, they're sponsoring it, and she's also going to be performing in the halftime show. So this is where Monyetta comes in to help her out. Monyetta's getting way more of a speaking role this season, but she's still far up Kenya and Candy's ass. So the jury's still out if I think she's good for the show or not. So a little bit later, Monyetta gets a FaceTime from Kenya's new white boo, and he looks good, for a white guy, and Kenya is kind of smitten by him, and it looks like they already had sex. She says she is no longer waiting for her divorce to be finalized from Mark. Yes, she is still technically married to this man, which is crazy. She said they separated in 2019. That is ridiculous. I'm like Alex at this point. I want to see the official wedding certificate, some type of document proving that they were married. Because at this point, she's been separated longer than she's been married. Anywho, she's just gushing over her potential bae, and maybe we'll see him later in the season. So next scene, we're with Sanya, her mom, and her sister, and they're basically her team going over her schedule. Also, Sanya's sister's husband is her assistant. So she's going over that with him. It looks like he's not doing that good of a job. So then, during the meeting, Sanya lets her sister know that her husband Ross is just ready for them to just be in the house. Her sister is taken aback by this. I don't know, her sister gets a confessional along with their mom, and she calls herself centered. Really? She is employing y'all and putting food on y'all's table. Well, actually, y'all live with her, so it's food on her table. So she's giving y'all a seat at the table for you to eat at. She may call her sister self-centered, but she looks ungrateful to me. It looks like her sister isn't taking the news very well, and she's being very passive-aggressive about it. I will say, Sanya, I love this storyline rather than, her trying to have another baby. This is actually interesting to me. All right, so next scene we're with Marlo and her plotline kids. They're doing something for Halloween, even though, the timeline's a little sketch because I remember seeing Candy in, I think the second episode, and she was already dressed for Halloween. So it looks like we're going back. I don't know, maybe it's the editing. So in this scene, she's getting her makeup applied for a Halloween shoot. She's talking to her sister who comes by and tells her that she's trying to get her record expunged so she can own a gun. Now, she's recently, been the victim of an armed robbery, and she says she'll feel more safer if she owned a gun. But Marlo has about maybe 10 to 15 mug shots and charges, so yeah, that's gonna be hard for her. As she's talking about the situation, she brings up Courtney, the new friend that she just met, and she's helping Marlo. I think she connected her to a lawyer to try to get her charges expunged. But for some reason, Marlo brings up Candy, and I'm just like, what does Candy have to do with that? She's saying, well, Candy didn't try to help me out. She's known me for years. I don't know, Marlo. It's giving obsessed. Just leave Candy alone. Yes, we love when you activate Candy, but it has to be within reason. So Courtney then joins the scene, and it kind of makes sense that she has these connections to help Marlo because she deals with crisis management. Now, y'all, I know y'all gonna hate me for saying this, but right now I don't mind Courtney for the show. She's extra, but not to the point of LaToya. But we'll see. We're only at episode 4. We got at least 13 episodes to go. So now they're talking about the argument between Drew and Marlo, where Marlo was like, my nephew is dead, bitch! And Marlo is just giving the reason for that outburst. She tells us about her nephew unfortunately being murdered, but I still don't get the connection between a shooting at Candy's restaurant and, her nephew being murdered. Yes, he worked for Candy a while back, but what more does she expect Candy to do? We see the text conversation and Candy gives her condolences. Now I saw something on social media that I totally agree with, and they said that Marlo was probably expecting Candy to cover the funeral funeral expenses. That would have been nice of Candy to do, but she was in no way obligated to do that, nor should she expect Candy to do that. What is wrong with Marlo? And plus this happened 2 years ago. So then Marlo says she doesn't know why Candy keeps having shootings at her restaurant, and she wants to find out. Like Nene said, it's getting weird. It's getting real weird. Leave Candy alone. Unless Candy comes for you or Kenya. Like, leave them alone and just, do you. You're proving a lot of people right who said they should have never gave your ass a peach. Now, Courtney. Again, girl, with like the ghetto Candy shade, like, oh, maybe it's the culture that she creates. Stop doing that because you sound stupid. Also, side note, I just realized that I think Candy isn't even in this episode, as well as Drew, but with Drew, I don't mind at all. So next scene we're with Sheree, she's visiting her OBGYN. It turns out that she's dealing with fibroids. That's pretty much the gist of the scene. So next we're with Sanya and her parents. She's getting her makeup done for a shoot. She says her sister couldn't do her hair because she wasn't feeling well. So she's talking to her parents. She's just venting to them about the situation, about Ross being ready to be in a household with just them, as well as her sister's husband quit as her assistant. And then what gave me pause about it, she says he told her that it was just too much girl energy. What does that mean? I mean, she's putting money in your pocket for your broke ass. Sorry, Sanya, I didn't mean it like that, but I'm just calling a spade a spade. All I'm seeing here from my perspective, maybe y'all can correct me in the comments, is her sister and brother-in-law are very ungrateful. Even if she asked them to move to Atlanta with her, I don't see how she's taking advantage of them. Like, she's actually helping them out and she wants to see them win. Like, I see her in the same role as Candy is for her family. Like, she's putting everybody on. But hey, in some situations, like, money and running a business and family, it just don't mix sometimes. So next we see all the ladies packing for Birmingham, and I'm thinking Alabama, so is Sheree gonna see Martell? Courtney asked her this, and she says he has his kids for the weekend. I heard he's a fuck ninja, so I'm surprised he's even with his kids. I'm sure he's just telling that to Sheree. So now we see Kenya pulling up to Sheree's house in the van where all the ladies are going to meet them. Kenya and these times that she wants people to get there by. It's not happening, especially on Housewives of Atlanta. I don't think it happens on Beverly Hills. Like, someone is always going to be late, whether it's their glam or them taking selfies. Somebody's going to be late. Yeah, that time meant nothing. She wanted to leave by 10:15. We still have the ladies arriving around like 10:45. So it looks like Drew won't be in this episode because she has the flu. But it looks like it didn't stop Kenya because she's coughing up a lung in that van. So Marlo arrives last, of course. I'm sure if it wasn't for the other ladies, Kenya would have been left. But I will say the only thing that Marlo is excelling in is the fashion. As far as being a housewife, the jury's out on that as well. So as they're making their way to Alabama, Kenya's just giving them the rundown of what all they're going to do. It looks like she didn't let the ladies know that they'll be going to a charity event. I mean, you'd think you'd tell them that so they could be dressed appropriately, or you just didn't want them to so you can shine the most. Look, Kenya is still Kenya, even though, she's calmed down a bit. Marlo, I mean, that was shady, but she said, I ain't really got to worry about that. I mean, it's Birmingham. I agree. No shade to if you live in Alabama. Oh Lord, here we go. Sex conversation. Somehow, some way, we talking about Future's baby mama and what she said about eating his ass. And now, oh, you eat ass, you eat ass. Is it that big of a deal in straight world? I guess it's because straight men don't really wipe their ass like that, so it could be a danger zone. It just seems so elementary and late sometimes, but I get it. They're all like, most of them are Generation X. But I don't know, it ain't no big deal. Like, is it? Straight people, let me know. Ladies in the chat, do you eat ass? I mean, look, it's a delicacy for me, but again, I ain't eating out straight men, so that's the thing. So anyway, we gonna move on. Oh, and I forgot to mention that it seems like Kenya admitted to eating ass. Not sure if it was Mark's or not, but she said she's done it before. But I think it definitely was Mark. So the first activity for the ladies, before they check into their hotel, they're all going to be doing a dance class. And this gay man is going to be teaching them how to buck. Okay, I ain't trying to see these women body roll. Fast forward. And do I care about Kenya doing the secret rehearsals with Moneta for this show she's doing? Nope. Fast forward. Okay, so now the ladies are having a dancing contest between them, a buck-off. It's going to be judged by Kenya and Moneta. I mean, of course, Kenya and Moneta aren't going to choose Marlo. They aren't going to choose Courtney. I think I would have gave it to Marlo. She won that in dancing. But they gave it to Sheree. Yeah, so I'm looking at Sheree twerking, and she definitely got some work done back there. She better not be trying to play Kenya anymore about getting her butt done. So next scene, the ladies are at lunch, and the topic of conversation first is Kenya actually knows Courtney's baby daddy because he was in Groove Theory. Speaking of that, from last week, y'all, don't be trying to get on me because I didn't hear the group Groove Theory. Now, I remember kind of hearing the song, but they were kind of like a one-hit wonder or something like that. Like, they didn't have no type of iconic song. Like, it wasn't an iconic group. Like, yeah, if I didn't know who Changing Faces were, or Brownstone, or even Jade. Like, Jade had a one-hit wonder, but that one-hit wonder, we can listen to that 20 more years into the future and still be getting on the dance floor. So don't be getting on me for not hearing about Groove Theory, like, immediately. I didn't think he was unattractive when I saw him. Like, some people just peak at certain ages, and that's no shade. So now the conversation moves on to when Marlo and Drew got into it. We see in a flashback that Drew talked to Kenya and I think Sanya about how Marlo blew up on her. She said the anger was displaced, which I do agree with her. Now, Marlo feels some type of way because Kenya is telling Drew's perspective. She's like, were you there, Kenya? Were you there? Honestly, I do think Marlo's kind of jumping the gun with Kenya. Like, Kenya's allowed to say what Drew told her in the phone conversation. And Kenya's handling it well so far. She's like, you know, so far, Marlo, I have not been nice to you. Just saying. So Kenya's telling Drew's side, and she said that Drew said that Marlo was standing over her, yelling at her. So then we get the flashback, and production is trying to help Marlo out by saying that here's Marlo sitting, not standing. Now, production, that's probably not what Drew meant. Like, yes, Marlo was sitting down. She's like, my nephew is dead. My nephew is dead. So then when she got up, like, it looked like she was standing over her because she's taller than Drew. So yeah, from Drew's perspective, she's standing over her, yelling at her. So that's, yeah, we see, my nephew's dead, bitch! I'm sorry, that scene will never not be funny because of Drew's reaction. Marlo, she's in her confessional right now saying she wasn't aggressive. I mean, these ladies, like, they know they're being filmed. Why are you lying? I would think the easier route instead of lying is just saying, I don't recall. So now Kenya and Marlo's doing their back and forth. It doesn't go off the rails. It's just them throwing slick shade at each other. Kenya basically calls Marlo a clown. She says in her confessional that Marlo struggles with showing which personality she wants to present to people. Ooh, and then says you can put lipstick on a pig, but it's still Marlo. Damn. So then it looks like the ladies' lunch is over, and Kenya tells them that they have till 7 o'clock to get ready for the event that they're going to. Courtney says it's 5:30. I'm just like, what? They only got an hour and a half, like, to get ready? I mean, I get that they're, you know, being paid to be on the show, but that's not that much time. I'm sure these ladies got to go through glam, maybe shower, change into multiple outfits to see what they're going to do. Like, Kenya is setting these ladies as well as herself up, thinking that they're going to be ready in time. So the ladies check in their hotels, and it's just given basic, like, nothing luxurious about it. Y'all are in Alabama. I'm sure the money goes far down there. Where is the Four Seasons? And then supposedly Sheree won like an upgrade to a suite or having the best room. It's given Holiday Inn. I will say, anytime Kenya organizes an event, it is low budget. I'd even prefer Marlo organizing the group trips because she at least used that Bravo coin, every single cent they give her, to give us a luck situation. Oh! So as the ladies are coming downstairs, like, Moneta comes down in her little tacky silver outfit. I mean, it's okay for Moneta. Like, Kenya tells her, Moneta, really? That outfit is not appropriate. I cannot believe she told her that. I mean, what do y'all think? Especially seeing how that event turned out. Like, Moneta could have definitely, you know, wore what she wore. Wow, so it looked like Moneta really took her ass back to her room to change. Only two of the ladies looked to be on time, Sheree and Courtney, And Kenya, she not playing no games. She leaves the other ladies. Even Manetta, who she told to go back up and change. Now see, all this is the real Kenya coming out. Just saying, I know y'all still like her, but this is the side of Kenya that, can be can be perceived as very annoying. And I'm being kind right now. Y'all know I'm being kind. So as they're walking up to the event, we see Manetta join the ladies, so Kenya could have definitely waited for her. But Manetta, she not gonna say nothing to Kenya and Candy, which is why I'm just like, why are you here? Production know they are messy. So as Kenya's in her confessional saying like how glam this special event is supposed to be, we see production like just show like this fancy soiree that they kind of made up. So then they cut to the actual event and it is casual as fuck. And Kenya was making this big deal, like they were going to a gala, we gotta be on time. Like they didn't even have a section for her to sit at. And then we hear Sheree. She's like, girl, you could have left your booty shorts on. Like, Sheree gonna say something. Like, this event is just full of people coming up to them, like, saying they're fans. I'm surprised editing left that in, but it was probably so bad that they couldn't cut any of it out. Ooh, this is so awkward. Ugh. Plastic cups? Did I just see plastic cups? So then we cut to Marlo and Sanya in the second bus. Like, they get there at 8:45. Marlo already has a chip on her shoulder. And it looks like Kenya didn't have no problem leaving them. Now, Kenya did go to Twitter and point out that last season, Sanya left her for not being on time. So it is what it is. We're back at this low-budget event, and you just got all these people just taking pictures of the ladies. Kenya even has to let someone know to stop filming her. We just see everyone in the background just staring at them, had their phones out recording them. Yeah, I mean, this is definitely Alabama. No shade. So then Marlo and Sanya get to the event, and Marlo goes straight to the bar, asks for a bottle of champagne and some sparklers to let the other ladies know that they got there. Marlo was trying to go to another section and look more luxurious, but Sanya already went to the other table, so Marlo had to join them. I still can't believe that they are drinking out of plastic cups at this special event that Kenya was like making such a big deal about. So they join the other ladies. Sanya's coming for Kenya for leaving them. And Kenya says, oh, I gave y'all an extra 40 minutes. I think she's lying. Then Marlo asks Kenya, why you didn't call me? You didn't call me. Kenya says under her breath, I don't have your number. Shade, shade, shade. Now I know all of these ladies are a part of a group text whenever they're like, planning an event of some sort. Kenya, you have Marlo's number. Also, if I was Manetta, I would have been giving Kenya the business for the entire function. Like, girl, you told me to change for this? For this? Look what she's wearing. Look, girl, what? Really? Look, that would have got the cameras on Manetta. She probably could have thrown some shade Kenya's way, but no. Manetta's too busy trying to be on the right team. And while that is important, you still gotta have your own identity, girl. Production, y'all are on one this season, and I am here for it. So then we cut to Marlo in her confessional saying that this event is lame like Kenya. She looked like a low-budget Carrie Bradshaw. So then production, they play like a little inverted Sex and the City jingle. They put Kenya in the city. And then they put some rundown house behind her in the background. Those are the shotgun houses I saw in the ghetto in New Orleans. They are wrong for that. I think that was the best scene of this episode. I'm sorry. So then the ladies sit upstairs. Again, people are just filming them as they walk by. No one is minding their business. As the ladies sit down, we have a fourth wall break. One of the producers go up to Kenya and they want to speak to her. They basically tell her that they don't really want y'all here anymore. Like, they're creating a distraction. Did they not know that inviting Kenya as well as the other housewives there, it probably would have caused the scene regardless, especially with the camera? So look, this is the worst low-budget event. I'm sure Candy is very glad she missed this. We cut to Kenya's confessional. She's like, well, production got kicked out. I didn't get kicked out. Girl, the whole thing was a flop. I'm sorry. I mean, better luck next time with the event you're doing the next day. So then Kenya tells the other ladies that they have to go, and she suggests going back to the hotel. Like, what? Like, they just got there. She left a few of the ladies just to get there on time. They are serving drinks in plastic cups. Look, I am not getting over that one. And look, everyone at that table should be mad at Kenya. And you know, Kenya don't really care because she can just go back to the hotel to her daughter. The other ladies are all dressed up. They got ready for the evening. And what they gonna do now? I'm sorry, I'm with Marlo on this particular situation. Like, Kenya was trying to like control the group and facilitate everything, you know, leaving people. And this is what happens. It turned out to be funny as well as a flop. So it looks like they got back to the hotel at 9:23. Marlo and Sanya got to the event at like 8:45. So they were there for like less than an hour. I would be pissed. I'm sorry. So now we see all the ladies dressed up in the lobby, like I said, like just twiddling their thumbs, just talking to each other. Meanwhile, Kenya's back in her hotel room for the evening. So then it's somebody's bright idea to go up to Kenya's room and knock on the door, because the sentiment of the other ladies is, well, bitch, you had us get ready, like rushing to go to this event, told somebody to change. And then, like, we get to the event, we stay there for like, what, less than an hour, and we come back, and you just going back to your room? So, yeah, I get why they were knocking on the door, but it starts to get a little disrespectful. We see all the ladies in the hallway, and after someone knocks on the door and there's no reply, Marlo then starts banging on the door and even kicks it. Now, some of the ladies are kind of laughing at this, and they continue to knock on the door. Marlo's then banging, "Open up, bitch!" Like, we then hear Kenya Moore, like, how we've never heard her. "Who the fuck is knocking on my goddamn door?" I was like, wow. Now, see, again, that is the real Kenya Moore. But I will say, Marlo is doing too much. Ooh. Kenya opens the door, looks Marlo dead in the face. "What the fuck is wrong with you?" I laughed a little bit. But Marlo is definitely putting 20 on 10 right now. 1,000 on 10. Marlo really isn't intimidated by this, and she keeps knocking on the door. So then Kenya slams the door, and she calls Marlo a psycho fucking asshole. It looks like Kenya was done for the evening. She wasn't coming back out. But, you know, I get the sentiment of the other ladies, like, why does Kenya get to go back upstairs and she's done filming while we gotta be downstairs, we're already dressed or whatever? Like, I get that, but Marlo definitely took it too far, especially when Kenya said that her daughter was in the room. Marlo does not give a fuck about that, though. She says, "Put Brooklyn in another room with your disrespectful broke ass." And then we can hear Kenya saying that she's calling the police. And that is where the episode ends. We then see a preview of next week's episode of chaos going down after Marlo continues the beat on Kenya's door. So my question to y'all is Marlo doing the most? Is her peach canned? Should she not come back next season? The only pros I can think for Marlo is, like, she always brings the fashion. Sometimes, most of the time. She does facilitate a lot of drama. Like, I know we hate her, but she definitely creates moments that we are talking about on Twitter, and, you know, the engagement is up. And I think her confessionals are really funny. I'm enjoying this season so far, personally. I'm looking on social media, and it looks like y'all are split 50-50 on it. Like, some saying that, like, they're just tired of this cast. There's really nothing going on. They need to do an entire, like, revamp of the show, like New York. I mean, I wouldn't mind that. But, yeah, I mean, I've been laughing every single episode this week, and I haven't been bored, so I don't really have that many complaints. Marlo doesn't bother me as much as y'all do. I do think she does need to chill the fuck out, especially when it comes to Candy, and I just want her conflict to make sense. Like, yes, you can agitate the ladies, but at least make it make sense. Because don't forget, like, she came in agitating the ladies on season 4. But yeah, y'all, I would love to know what y'all thought about the episode, the season so far, Marlo's antics, as well as Kenya's antics in this episode. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see y'all for the next episode. Bye.